right, let's go on to Tim next. Go ahead, Tim.
Look, DraftKings, the same secular story of a year ago is alive and well. It's had a brutal, brutal run. Back in DraftKings.
Back in on DraftKings. How about you, Pete?
Go around the horn on this Friday. Tim, back over to you. Final trade.
Yeah, I'm ready to follow Carter and pick up some Home Depot again on valuation and on that 200-day bounce. But 24 times forward, not expensive for, I think, the leading, hardline specialty retailer in the home department.
Stephen Grosso. For this Friday, Tim Seymour.
Boeing, another one of those companies with an outside day. I like it at the bottom end of the range.
Nadine Turman.
Market cap again.
Yeah, let's see.
Let me look at my paper where it says final trade. Nucor.
We were talking about steel companies earlier. Just see it in my paper. Nucor. Steel companies, if you look at iron ore and coking coal prices, steel prices are going higher. Nucor. Sorry
You
about
literally
that.
just said that like 3 minutes ago. Pete. Tim.
Well, shame on you. That song, Let It Go, in my brain. CarMax also on my brain. Omni-channel rollout. I think this is one you stay with.
Tim Seymour.
Southern Copper, SCCO. You could go Freeport, you could go Southern Copper, but commodities pulled back. They're not pulling back much more here. Inflation means reflation.
Stephen.
Do you know where you want to?
Friday for the final trade. Boy, did that go fast with all you guys here.
Good times. Good to be here on the desk.
I mean, really.
Group hug here.
Tim Seymour.
Yeah, so let's get back to also what broke down today, and really it's been a two-day trade. We talked about Alcoa last night. I'm going to look at Freeport Mac. Freeport Mac has pulled back almost 15% over a couple sessions. Copper prices remain high, structurally will remain high, and I think this commodity pullback is an opportunity to buy it.
Healthcare.
There you go.
Did you know, Tim?
Walgreens Boots, again, I think it's the same place. I think there are parts of retail that are very defensive. I think there are parts of their pharma business that are actually picking up some steam, and I think this is a safe place to be on value. If you're heading down to the waterline or offshore drilling, these are the guys to own.
That doesn't.
Tim.
They'll never leave your wingman, just so you know that. And I think Walmart, I think some of the selling this week was definitely not fundamental. I think you got a dynamic here that's still very attractive next year on multiple.
See, all these things now make sense.
Yeah.
To me.
I know.
Finally, they
Welcome
make
aboard.
sense.
Welcome aboard.
So in PayPal.
Friday before
Already?
Memorial Day, the show goes like this. Tim.
Where you always have some risk are emerging markets, but we're talking about Latin America. So let's talk about Mexico. EWW, the ETF for Mexico, is something that I think you actually have pretty good dynamics with. It's Cemex, Walmart, Walmex, and I think the consumer, but the oil economy of Mexico, something that's in your favor here.
I have to say that so long, Tim.
And I hope it goes a lot longer here in New York. In the meantime, buy some gold. I think it's everything that you need in this Fed environment. GLD.
Tim Seymour.
Some of the themes we've talked about tonight on the rally this week were around lower gas prices, commodity prices, things that are actually helping that Walmart consumer. This is a stock that has not gotten much of a bounce here. This is a stock that, to me, was overdone on their inventory concerns, and they've gotten out in front of this. I think you've priced in a lot of bad news here, Walmart.
Let's go around the horn. Tim Seymour, what do you say?
Barbecue time with some Budweiser, InBev Bud, BUD.
Steve Grosso. Tim Seymour.
OIH, by the way, S&P up 1.5%, oil up 3.5%, maybe a character change. But 1 year ago, OIH was at, probably at this level. Oil was at $70. It's not linear, but it's a reason to buy it.
All right. Thank you for watching Fast. Let's go around the horn. Tim Seymour.
I'll be there. I can't wait. It's going to be fun. So Pfizer reports at the end of July. I think they are one of those multinationals with FX headwinds. But I do think if you look at that P, very compelling. Less than 8 times next year. Pfizer right to break out key levels here.
Now we're leaving, Tim.
Joe, and we love having you here on a Friday. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And we love United Healthcare. Again, everything about this stock is the reason why they upped their full year guidance. It's dependable. The cash flow, the dynamics around margin are very strong. And the chart, as noted, in a good spot.
On one.
A lot of euphoria around U.S. markets, but don't
Go lower, stocks go lower.
Julie Beal.
I'm trading into Teledyne. I think defense spending should be a good defense place to be.
Tim Seymour.
At the end of the day, 4.5 times EBITDA on GM, and I think they're going to reaffirm very strong numbers and efficiency, and even margins is something that I want to own even in a difficult environment. We'll hear a little bit about supply chain as well.
Steve.
McDonald's.
Trade. Let's get around the horn. Tim, start us off.
Yeah, guy got me fired up for Disney. Again, I think we priced in a lot of bad news in terms of what's going on in the DTC business. I like the valuation. I like the risk reward. The Mouse House, to me, well to go.
Got it. Steve.
Around the horn, Tim Seymour.
I think in a week where the stock market kind of went sideways but has big gains, the rotation back into pharma is a place you want to be, especially with some of the big caps that have a bit of growth, but they have valuations that make sense. That's pharma. That's Pfizer in pharma.
That's also pharma. Steve Grasso.
And Tim Seymour.
Dom, thank you for joining us. Always great. Las Vegas Sands, another China play.
It's time for the final trade on this.
Stop it.
rainy, What?
Is that time already?
It's a Friday show.
Oh, it's Fridays go by like
half-hour show.
Fun.
Goes by quick.
Days go by so fast.
Tim Seymour.
Stick around for options action. I'll be on the desk. I'm
You
psyched to
will
be sitting
be.
next
Thank
to you.
you for
And we're going to talk about emerging markets, but within emerging markets, you have Brazil. And Brazil and the EWZ has really underperformed here. I think it's a case where it's not just about the dollar strength is behind us, but I do think you've priced in a lot of bad politics, and I think you've priced in a couple resource names to the downside that I think there's upside in. Brazil.